Hi, Carolyn, Trichologist here at Absolique. I'm just going to talk about the scalp a little bit today. So we're talking a healthy scalp versus problem scalp. So a healthy scalp tends to feel normal. You don't have any problems. You wash your hair as required and everything's okay. So you know when you have a problem scalp because things change in the epidermis, the dermis, and also the hypodermis. It's really good to use a microscope when you feel like things on your scalp has changed, because we can see on the surface what's actually physically happening. So not only does the scalp skin house the hair follicle, but it is also made up of all of these layers of constantly dividing cells, dividing and dying as well. So the state of how it looks when it's here as dead skin gives us a clue as to what's happening down here. So with the microscope we can see also down into the dermis for the blood supply. So when we've got something like seborrhea dermatitis, it means it's an oily inflammation. We can see the oil stuck in the little follicles, but we can also see the inflamed capillaries as well. So it helps to get a very correct and accurate diagnosis. Back onto the surface of the scalp, the epidermis, we can actually see the yellow oil being trapped into the dead skin. So it gives rise to a very, very accurate diagnosis. A lot when people tell me they have dandruff, we find that it's something very, very different. Psoriasis also needs to be very correctly diagnosed because it can be autoimmune, and if people think it's something else, you can really miss the mark, and you can use products that can be doing more harm to your immune system than help to balance things in here. So with psoriasis, it tends to be red, it can be open. So you've got to be careful using particular products based on what your scalp condition is so you don't make it worse. For dandruff, they'll use things that actually strip it, but it actually makes the cellular level speed up, so it increases the production. With seborrhea dermatitis, they tend to use things to strip it as well, but to also go down and clean, like tar bases and things like that. So it's a short-term solution treating symptoms, but the causes are inside and autoimmune. So we go about it in a different way, chemical-free. We're always going in to stabilise and put things back in order. If we're seeing things like psoriasis, seborrhea, we look at the immune system, we look at essential fatty acids, and you always check your vitamin D levels as well. So you don't just go and use topical things to correct a scalp problem, because at the end of the day, it's coming from within the body. So that's healthy scalp versus scalp problem, and our goal always is to balance scalp problems and then to convert it back to a healthy scalp. So drop me an email with any questions. It's info@absolique.com.au.